What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first ever episode 9 of Ready's Player One podcast. I'm your host, Mike, aka Ready Edgemont. Ready's Player One is the PC gaming podcast, and if you like what you hear, you can find me on Twitter at Ready Edgemont and on YouTube at Ready Edgemont. And if you want to get new episodes of this show, they go live every morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. But enough with the housekeeping. Time for some news. We have 5 items on the news today. Our first item has to do with the Elder Scrolls Legends and their newest Houses of Morrowind expansion. So this comes from Bethesda's website, which did the initial announcement. So there are 5 houses, and forgive me for my pronunciation. Some of these names I'm not going to pronounce correctly, but also a lot of it were the way I pronounced it when I played Morrowind the first time, back when I was like 6 or 7. So first one is House of Redoran. Redoran cards can also take advantage of the new Rally keyword, which adds a +1/+1 to a random creature in your hand whenever a Rally creature attacks. House Telvanni is an intelligence, agility, endurance mix. The Telvanni have a new Betray mechanic. After playing a Betray card, players can sacrifice a creature in their hand in order to play it again. House Hlalu, or Hylu, is a strength, willpower, agility mix, and the new Hlalu keyword is Plot, which triggers special abilities on a card if you've played another card in the same turn. Then there's the Tribunal Temple, which is an intelligence, willpower, endurance mix. The home of Vivek, Almalexia, and Sothasil offers Exalt, which grant bonuses to creatures when they're played for higher than normal magicka costs. Exalt can have an even bigger impact when the gods come into play, as seen on the Vivek card. And when Vivek is played, you cannot lose if exalted creatures are in play. And the last one is House Daggeth, which is a strength, intelligence, agility mix. The Morrowind bad guys offer special bonuses for having creatures of 5 power or higher in your hand. So this is exciting in the sense that it's going to add a totally different new way of balancing decks, because in addition to this, they're moving the cap from 75 to 100 cards in your hand, and the only way you can actually play some of these cards is if you roll with a larger deck, which generally means it's going to be more difficult to kind of play those decks. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes. I was an avid player of the Elder Scrolls Legends for a long time, kind of fell off recently, and have been playing Catan at work a little bit more, but I'm sure whenever this goes live, which it should be going live March 28th was the date that I saw on there. I'll probably hop back in and see what's up. And if you feel the same way, feel free to let me know about that and write into the show at 606.net/presser. That's PRESSER. And yeah, so I'll try to do a follow-up on that and see what else comes of it. Our next article is about Battlefront II's premium currency returning and the new progression system. So this article comes from Tyler Wilde of PC Gamer. Quote, the Battlefront 2 progression update, which will release next week on March 21st, revamps the whole system. Star cards will no longer be found in crates at all. Quote, instead, you'll earn experience points from the classes, hero characters, and ships that you choose to play in multiplayer, reads the press release. If you earn enough experience points to gain a level for that unit, you'll receive 1 skill point that can be used to unlock or upgrade the eligible star card you'd like to equip. End quote. So yeah, as EA promised, there was going to be a revamping of the premium content, and they were going to introduce loot crates back in with some caveats. I don't think this is going to save the game a whole lot. From what I've heard, and in terms of rumors, people saying that there's a possibility that Battlefront 2 actually becomes a free-to-play game. I think if they took that route and then diligently worked with the community, you might be able to see a success in the same way that we've seen with Rainbow Six Siege, which is a game that I play and recently just got and started playing with my friends. But at this point, I think there's too much ill will, and even if people do end up enjoying this, just because the internet is the internet, it'll probably be hated upon. Probably not the most downvoted comment in Reddit history levels of hate, but I don't think it's going to actually do much of a change. But if you play Battlefront 2, feel free to let me know and tell me what you think about this, and if you think that this is the right route, or if there should just be no premium currency or loot boxes involved in these kind of titles anymore. Our next article is regarding PUBG's Mobile and how it's coming to the West, and just had recently a soft launch in Canada. So this comes from Andy Chalk of PC Gamer. Quote, A mobile version of PlayerUnknown's Battleground rolled out in China recently, bringing the groundbreaking Battle Royale experience to anyone with a decent phone and a passing interest in playing it. Nothing was said about a Western release at the time, but it looks like it's going to happen, because a beta version of the game soft launched today on the Google Play Store in Canada, end quote. So, it's good to see that PUBG Corp is still working on the game and actually fighting back against Fortnite, but recently with Drake and Ninja on Twitch breaking the Twitch concurrent live stream record, I think right now the zeitgeist is around Fortnite, so unless they find a way to get back into the talk with people and just being talked about more frequently, I think that'll do well for them. But it's kind of sad to see the front runner being taken down by Fortnite. I haven't played Fortnite. I have a lot of friends that play Fortnite and a bunch of coworkers who also play it, and they just cannot say enough good things about it. So who knows? I might jump into it. Probably won't. I actually haven't been playing PUBG recently a lot either. So we'll see where that goes. And I didn't really think that PUBG or Fortnite really has a place. I mean, the kind of game that it is, I don't know how well that's going to work mechanically on a phone. And that's coming from someone who works on mobile games at NetherRealm. So, again, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But apparently it's really big in China on the mobile platform. So let's hope that it gets similar success in the West and the United States. Our next article comes from Paul Lilly at PC Gamer. Cryptocurrencies tumble following Google's advertising ban. Quote, cryptocurrencies were dealt a blow today when Google announced a widespread ban on related ads. The ban goes into effect in June and covers all aspects of cryptocurrencies, including initial coin offerings, ICOs, exchanges, wallets, and even trading advice. Google is following in the footsteps of Facebook, which implemented a similar ban at the beginning of the year. At the time, Bitcoin declined in value by 12%, according to CNBC, end quote. I think, again, too little too late. We saw, and we've talked ad nauseum on the show about cryptocurrency and how it's affecting GPU pricing. I don't think we're going to see any sort of alleviating pressure on the GPU market until probably Q3 or Q4. Just recently I upgraded from my 770 to a 1070 because I needed to, and it sucked, but not much you could do about it. It would be interesting to see if we're going to see literally the floor drop out in the same way we did in 2011 when ASICs were introduced, and there are rumors that they're going to be ASICs for Ethereum, although I don't know how that's going to happen considering that Ethereum was built from the ground up to be ASIC proof, but it looks like some people might figure out ways to do that, especially the hardware manufacturers, but I think a lot of people are afraid to step in like NVIDIA or AMD and create an entire new line off of something that they kind of know isn't sustainable, and when they know that their core audience is gamers, that if they were to come out and do cryptocurrency mining cards, they might spend too much time in R&D, and then by the time they get to offering it, there won't be the craze anymore. So I think a lot of people are just trying to wait this out. Interestingly enough, rumors are also circulating that there's going to be announcements for the next generation 20 series of NVIDIA's cards, and either at GDC or GTC. I will be at GDC this week, so I will keep my eyes peeled for that. And actually, I plan on, after attending GDC, that the following episode, or episode 10 of Ready's Player 1, is just going to be my post-mortem on GDC. What I learned, what I saw, if there's anything relevant that I think might interest you guys, but I'll keep you up to date with that as it happens. And our last article also comes from Paul Lilly at PC Gamer. AMD's supposed chip security flaws are being called into question. Quote, a security startup called CTS Labs made waves yesterday when it claimed to have discovered 13 critical security flaws classified into 4 types of vulnerabilities, each one specific to AMD's Ryzen and EPYC processor lines. With the industry at large still reeling from Spectre and Meltdown, the knee-jerk reaction was, oh great, here we go again. Now that the dust has settled a bit, the legitimacy of this disclosure is being called into question, end quote. The article goes on to specifically cite Gamers Nexus and their breakdown of the shady-ish practices of CTS Labs, considering that they are a newly founded company. This is their very first white paper they've written on this. The white paper itself kind of didn't seem normal, and also after doing some further investigation, Gamers Nexus found that CTS Labs had profited by shorting, I think, some of the AMD stock and actually having some invested interest in seeing AMD do poorly. AMD also reached out to Gamers Nexus and said that previous to the announcement of all of this, they had never been contacted, or they hadn't been contacted and given a large enough time to address this, and they had never heard of CTS Labs before, so still kind of a shady situation. If you want to read more about that and get into the nitty-gritty, I would recommend going to Gamers Nexus and their YouTube channel, and you could also find them out on their website and reading more into that. But essentially, there's not much to worry about here. It doesn't really seem like there's anything at Spectre or Meltdown level kind of breaks here. So if you have a Ryzen processor, an EPYC processor like I do, I wouldn't be too worried about that. So yeah, that is going to do it for the news. And next for our new releases, next week, Sea of Thieves is launching on PC March 20th. South Park, The Fractured But Whole, From Dusk Till Casa Bonita PC DLC also launches March 20th. Out of the Park Baseball 19 for PC launches March 22nd. Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom on PC launches March 23rd. So yeah, that will do it for the new releases of next week. Usually after that, we would do the press conference. Didn't have anybody write in this week, but if you'd like to write in, feel free to. You can do so at 606.net/presser. That's SIX06.net/PRESSER. Yeah, so thank you for tuning in to this first episode, number 9 of Ready's Player 1. This is Ready Edgemont, signing off.